Hey everyone, listen to this headline of the National Post. Our dairy, egg, and poultry producers don't want to compete. Our politicians agree. Opinion: supply management is merely another way for the federal parties to buy off Quebec voters, which is what they seem to expect. And I'm sure Maxime Bernier is chomping at the bits to respond to this particular article, because Maxime is out there, that libertarian leaning conservative party, the guy that almost won. Actually, I think he really should have won, because I don't know, like he suggested, it was those fake conservatives, it was those fucking crony dipshits that gave Scheer his mandate, gave him that little bit of edge that put him in the leadership position. Maxime Bernier should have won that, no doubt in my mind. He was screwed out of it. Now he's been placed on the backbench by his political master, by Andrew Scheer and the political hacks that support him. But don't worry, Maxime. Life goes on, and I guarantee at some point in time you will experience a time where the Canadian people will finally acknowledge that you were right all along and you were the best choice to bring about true individual freedom and liberty. This is by Morris W. Dorish. Few, if any, lobby and pressure groups in Canadian history have had as many politicians in their pocket at one time as the supply management community. Under unprecedented assault for their monopolistic and import-eliminating features, the dairy and poultry boards have all parties foursquare behind them. The Liberal Party is beholden to rural Quebec voters, where the marketing board systems makes families who milk 50 cows affluent. The affinity of Liberals and French residents of the Quebec backwoods predates Confederation, except for times when separatism is in cyclical ascent. Supply management is merely another way to buy off Quebec voters, which is what they seem to expect. But why do the NDP and Conservative parties support this system with such passionate fervor? Supply management is not free enterprise or entrepreneurship, so how does it fit with the philosophy of an allegedly conservative party? The marketing board system is labor unionism transferred into the country, except that no labor union has unilateral government sanctions to do as it pleases. It does not have support of all conservative members, but woe unto him who disrespects the party line. Quebec Conservative MP Maxime Bernier, who may be the only conservative in the Conservative caucus, was expelled from Scheer's shadow cabinet last week after posting on his website the chapter of his forthcoming book that criticizes supply management. He lost to Scheer at last year's Conservative Leadership Convention by such a microscopic margin that there should have been a recount or another vote. And in the book, Bernier describes how Quebec and Ontario dairy farmers took out impromptu Conservative Party memberships specifically to vote against him. Those are the fake conservatives that he was referencing. It is the expected thing to find incoherence in the new Democratic Party, but supply management is a point of which official party policy literally sides with the rich against the poor. There are 12,000 dairy farmers in Canada economically sheltered by the marketing boards, and around 12 million consumers with sub-middle class incomes, including 4.8 million living below the official poverty line. The Canada West Foundation estimates that dairy and chicken purchases for an average Canadian household cost $600 a year, more than the average American household. This $50 a month burden falls hardest on those with the lowest incomes, advocating for whom is assumed to be the reason that the NDP exists. The NDP places millionaire dairy farmers in the same class as union laborers. Dairy farms that have hired labor must be the only class of employers that the NDP is not sworn to victimize. So anyways, I'll post a link to this article in the description of the video below. But I mean, as we're seeing time and time again, protectionism on a scale that really does not just slightly suppress economic freedoms, but completely destroys any pretense of having free market fundamentals, right? Or competition-based marketing that allows the consumers to not just have more areas that they can consume their products, but competition, it's the best form, it's the best method humans have ever conjured up as a means to create a higher elevation as far as the products we consume, as far as quality and quantity, and reduce the price point. That's the beauty of the free market. That's the beauty of competition. But when you can restrict barriers to entry or create monopolies or these cartels in any particular economic endeavor or segment of the economy, then it's the people. Once again, it's you or I that's getting screwed over for the protectionist aspects of pulling up or securing the incomes or the wealth of those who want to be part of the ruling class, or those who want to cozy up to the ruling class, or those who want to use the big gigantic gun in the room as a means to an end economically. I say, yeah, throw the shackles off the Canadian economy and let some fucking freedom finally reign in this place where we can start to enjoy some of the benefits that the Americans have been enjoying for far, far too long, or for far longer than we've ever even had a chance. We get a little sniff of it by sheer fact that the Americans are our southern border, but we've never actually genuinely experienced what it means to have some real, genuine economic freedoms. And market competition. Those areas, as soon as they've flourished for even the slightest period of time, the crony fucks, these central planning dipshits, these authoritarian hacks, these macro and micro manipulators, they step in to intervene and completely destroy any pretense of having any social or, in this case, economic freedoms. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.